What is going on, Boom Beach? I am Zedmont. We are going to be doing some warships goodness. First, need to make sure our creator boost is updated every 7 stinking days. So this is my warship. Thank you for all of your patience and your happy thoughts and your kind words and all that sort of stuff. Back at my desk, no more AFK for me. This is the base that I have been using. What we are going to do right here, right now, is pick up all of the things. Boom, shakalaka, all of the things cleaned up. Now we're going to go back and get this sky shield. Quick note, the second sky shield costs an extra 8 keys, so it's going to be this one that we're after. Now that we've got a sky shield, we need to build a base. So we are going to go onto the global leaderboard. We're going to scroll down a little bit until we find the dude that is Mr. Stoneheart right here. Gonna have a look at his base. Going to take a quick screenshot like this, and then we're going to build this base. The reason why we're going to build this base is once you've got enough defenses to build the front-loaded base, you're going to be able to beat a huge number of people. Now, quick note, this is only going to be valid for a little while because a whole lot of people are zooming along the tech tree waiting to get 100% building health. Once they get 100% building health, that's going to be even more dangerous right now. That base is susceptible to a couple warrior hits, but I'm not going to be covering those. First, I'm going to pause, then I'll start building myself this base, and I'll pause and take a couple notes along the way. First up, the engine room placement. This one over here needs to be against that far wall. I've seen a couple people with their engine rooms here, and then they get wrecked by bombardiers that come and stand right there on that little peninsula right above there. Not the right word, but anyways. This engine room is going to be in this corner. This end up, whoops, my screen seems to have a little bit of something on it. We're going to move this. This engine room right here needs to be a little bit forward, 1 notch. That gives 3 squares in behind there, as you can see right there. Let's get our final engine room. I mean, it's going to be somewhere in this neighborhood about here. Don't exactly have the positioning down pat, simply because I think it's like there even. Don't care about that bit. We're going to start building with the defenses. Now, I like to build one side at a time, especially when you can just go like this easily and drop a machine gun here and a flamethrower there. Get all of this. That's not supposed to be that. That's supposed to be there. And just like that, we've built the left-hand side, then building across to the other side. I'm going to pause because I don't want you to have to wait for me to put down every single defense, but I'll come back here and there. Right about now is when I realize I'm copying a base that has 2 extra mortars. So that is one of the difficulties in copying bases, is that they are farther along in the tech tree than me. Couple extra rank chests, which means I am going to have to make this thing up as I go along, so I'm going to have to do my best impersonation. I'm only behind by 2 mortars. I should have everything else, so I just need to wiggle and jiggle things a tiny, tiny bit more. So back at it we go. Okay, now if you're wondering why I switched bases, even though that other base was doing fairly all right, you can see starting to lose a little bit. Times against my base, 244, 229, 220, 240. Like, the times are decent. My times are also decent, but I figured, you know what? I've got all of the tech. Let's just let this base stand on its own, and that way I don't have to do nearly as much. It's more about the fact that I've got all this tech. Now, speaking of which tech I have, rocket launchers are tick 3. Warning, there is a massive bug with Everspark. You'll see Everspark here is listed as level 11. If we go into here, she's only level 8. So when they swapped the mechs around, make sure you check your Everspark level. Let me show you my other account here. Now, this bug only affected people who started the season early. See, my Everspark is listed as max level here. I cannot upgrade Everspark. She's listed as being level 13. That means she's got level 6 Critter Swarm. If we go into my attack mode, you see right here, I've only got level 6 Everspark. That is tick 2. That means that her Critter Swarm info is only level 2 and only gives 10 critters instead of 15. So I'm wasting Gunboat energy, Everspark is dying on me, and Supercell is doing nothing because no one is complaining about this bug, because no one's noticed this bug. So please, hit me up in the comments, let me know if your Everspark levels do not match up, because it is incredibly, incredibly frustrating. And as a result, I'm just not playing that account as much because Everspark is just not nearly as strong as she should be. So when they swapped mechs, they didn't do a great job. Of course, they didn't do a great job, unfortunately. But please hit me up in the comments. Please make a little bit of noise if you've had that problem, because I don't think anyone's noticed it. By the way, big shout out to Mr. Shishka Bobber, who hit me up in my comments to say that it was not matching what it was supposed to be. I didn't notice. I just got excited. Hey, I had upgraded Everspark. Yay, the bugs worked in my favor for once. Lo and behold, that was very, very much not the case. Just not going well for me there. Anyways, let's see what we can do. Now, against these bases, I have one strategy and one strategy only. I am dropping my mechs over there. I'm dropping a mech over there. Then I'm going something like this, getting Miss Everspark with some Critter Swarm. And once that mech starts walking up the beach, then I'm going something like this. Now, if I had critters, this would go ever so slightly better, but don't need to worry about critters too much at this point. But we do need to worry a lot bit about a medkit. Now, my medkits are only level 1, but throwing medkits can save your troops in so many different ways, and that was not one of them. Just got absolutely pummeled by all of this person's mines, but I think we should still be okay. Our mechs are not super duper strong, but they are strong enough, and this is going to be the perfect example of just how to ride your base without having any offensive attack. Like, my attack on this base is going to be awful. I've already guaranteed myself that this attack is going ridiculously poorly. I need to shock that very last shock launcher because this attack has just been an absolute train wreck. I hit every single mine. I have not put my troops anywhere near where I wanted to put them. And we are still in a position to win this battle, all thanks to our base standing up. So this is going to be the first test of that base, just seeing if I can make up for an awful attack. Like, this was literally the worst attack I've done this season, I feel like, and it's coming to you live on the YouTubes. So, but look at this. People are struggling against these bases. People with great warrior skills can take these bases down, no big deal. Or the people who can take these bases down have moved up a little bit. As a result, getting a little bit lucky here. I had no rights winning that battle, like 0, and still picked up the win. Will not subject you to watching that attack carrying on. I'm going to show you 229, don't care. Let's watch 245. That's a decent time. Let's watch that against Mr. Caban, Mr. or Mrs. Caban. So this is what I was talking about, bringing those mechs in, bringing those critter swarms in, and just clearing. Now, this was where I was talking about those med kits. See that med kit? Just absolutely saving the bombardiers. So close. I wish I could see how much health that bombardier has, but just getting a little bit of luck and a little bit of love out of those med kits. And now hoping that we can push ourselves up without that ridiculously terrible attack. And sure enough, look at this. They've got basically the same base as us. Now, I'm kind of tempted to come in from that right-hand side, so we're going to give that a go. I think it's a terrible idea to do this, but I don't know anything about these front-loaded bases quite yet, so I don't also just drop these mechs way late, but hoping that those couple critters that are going to be coming through there are going to do some form of good for us. Then I'm going to flare into this general region. So we're all I'm doing right now is clearing a little hole to clear our troops into. And then we're going to flare all the way into that middle and hope we can take this puppy out. Is it going to be fast? No, but I'm really hopeful that our base can stand up just enough to get us into a wonderful spot before my phone dies, because it just popped up and said 10% battery remaining. So as soon as we get rid of a couple more of these machine guns, what I'm going to do is I am going to throw a shock right about there, and now we're bringing our troops into about here, hoping that all of the mechs stay in behind. Now, what I'm hoping for right here is that flare is going to expire. Perfect. And now those mechs are going to be out front. Not bad. Not super duper great, but at the same time, we've got a nice little split here with some going forwards, some going up the top. Not going to be a great time, but my goal here is to beat about 224 or so, because I figure my base can last until that point. So that mech standing out front, and now we just need this final sky shield to go down so that we can get that final engine room. So I said we were going to aim for 224. We are not going to get 224. Going that left-hand side ramp, probably not a great idea, but until someone can beat my base, I'm just going to go slow, make sure I try as many different attacks as I possibly can, because this base is going to stand up on its own for a little bit. So biggest thing I suggest is anytime you have an advantage like this, try and learn new hits, mess with things, copy different details, different attacks. Now, I know warriors would be a great way to take on these bases, but I don't want to spend tokens on warriors because I feel like they're not going to be useful going forwards. That might be a mistake on my part, but so far my tech choices have been doing fairly all right for me. Should be able to move up into 18 or 19 in the next little bit, and that should hopefully get me up there with Mr. Mackett. Mackett leading New Zealand. By the way, HLY, if you're out there, please hit me up in the comments. Mackett and I chat all the time. HLY is this ghost of a person that I don't even know actually exists. Hilly, HLY, I don't know how you pronounce your name, but hit me up in the comments. Let me know what your strategy is, how long you've been playing Boom Beach, all of those kinds of things, because you're always on the leaderboards for the Mega Crab and for Warships. So good on you. Whoa, I have not seen a base quite like this yet. So this is going to be interesting for certain. Now, also, I feel like I'm the only person who's using 2 boats of mechs. I feel like everyone else is either using 0 mechs or a lot more mechs. So let me know in the comments if you're using mechs, if you like using mechs, or if you're just using them because they're here. Now, kind of a funny detail. My son popped into Warships, started his own attack, and first thing he did was skip upgrading his mechs. And I said, "What are you doing? That's the troop you need to use." And he says, "But Dad, you told me mechs are garbage." So in previous seasons, yeah, they have not been super duper awesome. In this season, though, they've been holding their own. They've been very useful, finally finding some form of a use for mechs as we get a great split. We've got 1 bombardier on that left-hand side. I just cursed it. Said we had a great split, and then a whole bunch of our last bombardier walked on top of all those mines. And I said early in this video not to put your engine room against that back wall because they can get it from that peninsula. Turns out they can get it from anywhere. So ignore me on that fact. Someone early in the video was probably screaming at me, telling me they can get it from anywhere. Just shows how little detail I've paid this season. Honestly, I have been just farming chests, closing the game, and not playing a heck of a lot, but still managing to do decently okay by having the right tech. So we are going to pick up another win against Pedro, and that is the primary reason why I wanted to make this video. Is we are sitting at the perfect push point. So I started to talk about my tech tree. The tech tree, you need to get that building health. Once you have the building health, I would suggest going back and getting the Sky Shield. You can do those in either direction, but this season for me is all about base riding. We have got rocket launchers at tick 3. We've got shock launchers, max boom cannons, max sniper towers, max flamethrowers, no choice nodes quite yet, but everything going fairly well. Only tick 1 on the shock bomb though. So no warriors, no barrage either. So just fully riding bombardiers and the base, and so far it's been doing all right. trying to push up a little bit by little bit. I'm a little bit afraid my battery's going to die here, so if it dies mid-battle, I'm probably going to cry a little bit, but at the same time, it won't be the worst thing because this attack strategy system has been going fairly good, starting to get a couple wins. Now we just need to drop that bombardier on that left-hand side. If you're wondering why I'm dropping those bombs so ridiculously late, it's because they climb so much faster up the ramps than mechs do, and I really don't want to deal. Oh, look at that. Perfect critters clearing all of those mines. That was absolutely magical. Now what I'm worried about, of course, is all of those boom mines are going to cause me nothing but problems. So the next deal is going to be getting some of our troops to come back to that right-hand side, trying to get all of our critters. Like, look how good those boom mines were. I love it when little details like that. Like, this person probably spent hours perfecting where their boom mines went, and those are the kind of details I love to see in warships. You know that someone has been watching replays, moving their mines around just bit by little bit. You can also tell they've been getting crushed by warriors, and as a result they moved a ton of mines backwards, which is going to play deeply into our benefit. So you have to be very careful. There's all sorts of ways to lose in warships this season. This person clearly has been beat by warriors and did not want to get beat by warriors, but as a result, we are going to come in here and beat them with our base because we pushed them to that left-hand ramp. And as you saw early on, that left-hand ramp is not super duper useful. So this rocket launcher trying to get that last little bit down. They've got max critters though, and you see that they managed to use all sorts of gunboat energy, but look how far away that back engine room is. They still have so much work to do. Even if they manage to critter that engine room, we are still going to pick up the win and should be able to push deep into this season. I'm hoping to get to 19 or 20 tonight, but it all depends on how well this base does. And I need to pick up my attacking skills very quickly here, because as you can see, my attacks have been average at best, and we've still managed to pick up a couple wins just like that. So that is my quick update for today. Today is Thursday, February the 3rd. I'm recording this on the 2nd because tomorrow I am just going to be slammed with work due to missing 3 days for skiing. Anyways, let me know in the comments what your tech tree looks like, if it's similar to mine, what changes you'd make to my base, what rank you're at, and if you're using mechs or warriors or barrage. Anyways, I will hopefully be back tomorrow. Also, my war factory video should be out any minute. Gonna do a 2-video kind of day. I'll talk to you soon. As always, thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Peace.